bacteria in 3 East Coast states. Here's what to know. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. According to ABC News, at least 6 people have died on the East Coast this summer after being infected with flesh-eating bacteria in warming waters. Health officials say 2 people in Connecticut, 1 person in New York, and 3 in North Carolina died in July and August from various vulniferous, a potentially deadly bacterium. The U.S. typically sees a handful of deaths in Gulf states, but it's rare for deaths to be spiking in East Coast states. In response, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention issued a health advisory to warn doctors, laboratories, and public health departments to be on the lookout for these infections. The sky is not falling, but be very careful, pay attention, and take it seriously if you have an infection and get it treated. Dr. Rita Caldwell, a microbiologist and marine expert at the University of Maryland at College Park and at Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health, told ABC News. Vibrio bacteria caused an estimated 80,000 illnesses each year in the U.S., according to the CDC. In particular, Vibrio vulniferus can lead to life-threatening infections. Between 150 and 200 infections are reported to the CDC every year, with about 1 in 5 people dying within a day or 2 becoming ill, the agency said. These bacteria are naturally occurring in salt water and brackish waters, and more abundant in the summer months between May and October. Most often than not, this bacterium is going to have a coastal origin, meaning that somebody would visit coastal waters for recreation. They may have a wound or like exposed skin. Dr. Antorpi Jolata, an associate professor in the Department of Environmental Engineering Science at the University of Florida, told ABC News. And then these bacteria basically get into those holes, and then a person can get infected. Eating raw or uncooked shellfish, such as oysters, that live in coastal waters can also increase the risk of infection caused by Vibrio vulniferus. Symptoms of Vibrio vulniferus infection can include fever, nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, and watery diarrhea. For those who have a bloodstream infection, symptoms could include fever, chills, low blood pressure, and blistering skin lesions. For a wound infection, a patient might have redness, pain, swelling, warmth, fever, discoloration, and discharge. Those with wound infections can suffer necrotizing fasciitis, which is when the flesh around an open wound dies. Treatment involves antibiotics and replacing liquids lost through diarrhea. Necrotizing fasciitis or fasciitis can sometimes lead into limb amputation. Many of the infections in Connecticut, New York, and North Carolina were contracted due to open wounds that were exposed to coastal waters, according to the CDC. Some of the infections were due consuming of raw or undercooked seafood. Infections had unclear origins. So, to reduce the risk, health officials recommend people stay out of salt water and brackish water. If an open wound does not come into contact with this water, wash the wound thoroughly with clean running water and soap. Additionally, avoid eating or coming into contact with raw shellfish. If you got cut and it's healed over, that's not a problem. Tessa Kitsis, an extension educator with Connecticut Sea Grant and University of Connecticut Extension, told ABC News, if it's an open wound, they want to wait until the wound is closed. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.